Hello, everybody. Welcome to Expansion Pass. I'm your host and I'm excited Eddie V. It's just me this episode, and everybody, I thought to try something different. I kind of been watching Reddit stories on YouTube, in a sense, and I know this is nothing new, but I thought, how about I read some gaming Reddits? Maybe just be something relaxive for you. Maybe you have heard these stories. Maybe you're not into Reddit or anything. But how about we get into these stories and just try, something different for Expression Pass. So I got 16 stories here. They don't seem to be too long. What it is that I'm going to read the story and then I'll give my opinion about it. I'll try to see if these stories have any updates or anything, and talk about the responses, and hopefully we find out if they do have an update that it concludes to the story. So let's jump into these Reddit stories. Now they got a thing called "Am I the a-hole?" But for this, I'm going to say, "Am I to blame?" For this one. So I'm going to use that. So here we go. Am I to blame for wanting to play video games for 30 minutes to an hour every day when I get home from work? So I, 37 male, work as a service manager for a high volume dealer and out of the house for 12 hours a day. Leave at 6 a.m. and don't get home until 6 p.m. 5 days a week. My wife, 33 female, gets upset when I get home and after eating dinner wants to get a couple of rounds of Call of Duty in. My wife is a SAHM with our 18 months, so stay at home mom with our 18-month-old, and thinks it's absolutely criminal that I want to get some decompressed time at the end of the day. My daughter is still in the mommy all the time phase, so she prefers to spend more time with my wife than I. Usually when I get home, I would eat dinner, do whatever honeydews she has for me, and then play for a little. After I'm done, I would join them and spend time with my family, which usually is her watching a movie slash show and I reading the same book to my daughter 10 times. LOL. My wife says that even when I'm chilling with them, I spend too much time on my phone. While we are all hanging out, if my daughter is asking for my attention, I will stop what I'm doing and do whatever she's asking me to do. Whenever she wants to go back to mommy, I will browse Twitter or Reddit since I usually have absolutely zero interest in what she is watching. She accuses me of being absent slash not present since I don't focus all my free time on her and the baby. Also, side note, she is currently 20 weeks pregnant. So, am I the butthole? And then there is an edit to it. He says, I get up at 5 a.m. and usually fall asleep by 9:30, 10 p.m. My wife and daughter nap through the day, so when I'm sleeping, they are usually awake for another hour or two. Edit. It has been confirmed that I am indeed the butthole. Thanks for all the constructive suggestions, y'all. Time to work on adjusting my mindset. Another edit. Although I do see how I can improve, it does seem like some more background is needed on my home and work situation. I literally took this job and all that came with it because my wife decided she wanted to be a stay at home mom. The original plan was for her to go back to work after our daughter was born, but during her maternity leave, she decided she would rather stay home until our baby was school age. During that time, she also decided she wanted another baby. I done everything to try to accommodate her wishes. I took the job, dropped my jujitsu and gym time since I don't have time to go anymore, and really only have the one hobby now that I can do from home. My wife and I's childhoods were similar, raised by single mothers in a low income neighborhood in LA. Now we have a nice home in a very nice part of a beautiful city. I struggled and grinded on my own since I was 17 and am awfully proud of the life I managed to build. My wife has always hated gaming, even before the babies, but it's always been a hobby of mine since I was a kid. I didn't have a whole lot growing up, but I had a Nintendo, and instead of jacking around on the street, I would come home and play that to stay out of trouble. The people of this subreddit are absolutely merciless. I even received messages on how I'm disgusting or a piece of trash and should go to Hades. That's insane. My wife picks our two family destination vacations every year, and on weekends we're either spending time visiting her family or going camping. Can I be more attentive? Definitely. Is our marriage slash life in absolute shambles? Definitely not. I will always be willing to learn and evolve as a person. I wanted to be a father since I can remember and will always try to be the best one I can, but I'm still human and still flawed. So, huh. So this is the thing about it. Am I the butthole or am I to blame, I should say, for wanting to play video games for 30 minutes to an hour every day when I get home from work? Um, I don't think he is. From reading this, like, yes, he has worked 12 hours, 5 days, to support his family. And if he's only playing 30 minutes to an hour, that should be good for him to decompress. Of course, the mom is, or the wife, I should say, is staying at home to raise the child. But in the edit, she made that decision. She made that decision to, I'd rather stay home, take care of our daughter while you go ahead and work. And yes, she doesn't have a love for video games or anything, but he plays for his 30 to an hour of video games and then spends time with the family. While, he gets time to decompress, she gets time to decompress because she gets to go watch a TV show or a movie. Plus, when the baby is asleep or the child is asleep, she goes get sleep. Like, he is working hard to sustain for the family because he has to work. She wanted another baby. He provided that service to give her another baby. I'm just using service to keep this clean. Um, and so, so when this next baby come and everything, he's gonna still have to work harder, because he has now three mouths to feed along with his. When she when you know when that second baby grows up and everything, it might get to a point where the daughter might be interested into what dad is playing and stuff. There are good qualities to video games for families, but because of the wife having a dislike for video games, she feel like it shouldn't be included in their family life and everything. I kind of feel like, and I'm not trying to blame the wife, but the way that it is written, it feels like she controls everything, and if she doesn't get her way, I guess she gets upset and voices her opinion about it. You know, if he pays for the system, and we don't know if it's console or if it's PC at this time, but if he's paid for all of this, he should have that right. It is their home, which he probably paid for. He's paying the bills and everything. If he wants to spend 30 to an hour per day playing video games and he's not doing a video game binge, he should be allowed to play. He should be able to take the time, relax, decompress by playing a video game, having fun with his friends and on Call of Duty. And by time he get in like maybe 4 or 5 rounds, his 30 minutes to an hour is up. Like, multiplayer mode in these games go quickly. You just start playing, you start having fun, or you lose, or and you're matchmaking, you talking with the other people and stuff. It's helping him, and when he gets his time to play, he should come. He goes and spends time with his family. Now, yes, he might not be interested in the show she's watching, um but when the baby wants to get his attention, wants to do something with them, he stops everything and goes play with her and spend time. He said even the story that he read the same book to his daughter 10 times, and it is something that he enjoys with his daughter and stuff. And like he said, the daughter is in the phase of, I want mommy most of the time. Well, mommy is a stay at home mom. So she is going to, of course, be um needing mom a lot because that's what the daughter is growing up with. What's going to happen when both of the kids get older? Is mom going to go and get a job and stuff, or is she going to be asking to get have a third baby? This is really it is really interesting to see what happens. So I'm going to read just about three. Um, I'm going to read about three responses to this one. So the first response goes, you're to blame. You may work 12 hours a day, but you're a dad 24 hours a day. You have four competing interests: your family, your job, sleep, and your personal time. Right now, you are giving half of your time to your job. Then you have to divide the remainder of your time between sleep, family, and yourself. You can't really take too much time from sleep. I'm assuming you sleep about 8 hours. Now you have 4 hours for yourself and your family. Take an hour for yourself, 3 hours for your family. Is that enough time? Are you happy being a father and husband for only 3 hours a day? Compare that with your wife. She is a stay at home mom 24 hours a day. She's always on call. She constantly has a kid attached to her. Even when your daughter is asleep, your wife can't get too into something because your daughter could wake up at any time. Honestly, your household sounds very stressed. You are stretching yourself thin. Your wife has no reprise. It's easy for me to say you need a less demanding job, especially if you want more your time. If you want more you time, the 12-hour workday and stay-at-home mom isn't making either of you happy. Uh, he said, edit to correct my math. So this is the number two edit. Wanting 1 hour a day of personal time isn't unreasonable, but when you only have 4 hours of free time, not counting eating, showering, crapping, or using the bathroom, then 1 hour is excessive only because it leaves 3 hours to be with the family. I realize 12 hours of the day is working for the family, but 3 hours with the family is too little. Clearly, time has to be found for more family time and personal time. My answer would be work less, even if that means mom goes to work. But that's easy for me to say as I'm removed from the situation. I still say you're to blame for this situation, although I think the situation needs to change. If the question was about working less or mom working, then I would say not to blame. Also, some people say being a stay-at-home mom isn't a job. Is that If that's the case, then why do we pay people to do the work of stay-at-home moms? You have to pay housekeepers. You have to pay nannies. You have to pay cooks. You have to pay Uber drivers. These people don't work for free. Everything stay-at-home moms do is worth money. So why are they considered to be worthless in terms of money? The response to that is truthfully insightful. I never looked at it this way. Lots to chew on here. Possible chemist is the next one. He says your wife is telling you that she needs adult attention after spending all day with the baby. When you're there, you are constantly doing everything you can to engage in escapism. She's telling you, but you aren't listening. The day will come when she doesn't complain to you at all, and it will be because she has already left you in her mind. The only thing left will be the packing. Once it gets to that point, there will be no fixing it. You're to blame. And then the next one says you're to blame, and if you bonded more with your child, there wouldn't be what you call mommy all the time phase. You're too self-centered. Thank you, I'm a dad, and that pissed me off so much. So now the thing I think people don't is I think the thing that people don't get is that he wants to play an hour when he gets off of work, and I feel like that's fine. And that's what the thing says. I get home from work. Do the weekends, he is spending time with his family. Like you said, they go to camping or they spend the time at her parents' house. You know, what if they don't go camping? What if they don't go to the mom's house, parents' house? And he's spending more of his weekends with his family. That should be acceptable. If he's getting 30 minutes to an hour, most he would have to play a video game would be 5 hours. He got 2.5 hours to 5 hours to play a video game that he paid for. And what the mama's gonna do if the mom said that she's going to leave him and pack up and leave, where's she gonna go? Because she has to go back to her parents' house. Because I'm assuming that he probably owned that house that he's paying for. Now, yes, he's gonna have to pay child support, or and they're gonna probably arrange meetings and stuff. But I wouldn't even jump to that conclusion over some video games, because they're gonna look at the judge party is gonna look at the mom to be like, okay, you had a stay at home mom and everything. He's working 60 hours a week, eh, to make sure that you guys have a house, and food, that bills get paid. So they're gonna be like, where you gonna go? What you gonna do? I don't know the law or anything, but I think the judge is gonna take in consideration that they're gonna look at the wife and think she's doing the most, because she's going to divorce a man who wants to play 30 minutes to an hour of a video game after working 12 hours. And she's probably going to respond to it, well, I'm taking care of the kids. And they're going to say, well, you choose to do that, because if the first daughter is old enough to go to a preschool or kindergarten, you know, I think he could probably find time or find money to help her go to a kindergarten school while she works. But the wife said, I want a second kid. He delivered, he made up on that promise. So the cycle is still going to continue. Now you got two kids that you got to have to deal with. So, but we I wish them the best. This was 3 years ago, so this was in 2022. There was no updates to this one. I wish there was, but at this point in time, there is not a update for it. So we're gonna move on to the next story. So the next one. Am I to blame for refusing to play video games I hate? My friend group, this includes my wife, all love to play video games. For years, we played a ton of competitive games: Halo, Overwatch, Apex, Fortnite, etc. And this usually was a fun time. A few years ago, games started inserting a system called skill based matchmaking, or SBMM for short. This made sure you play against people similar to your group's skill. I love my friends, but out of all of us, I feel like I was a little bit better than them. When I played solo, I climbed very high in ranked modes, but when I was with them, it was typically 50-50. I had to try very, very hard in games we played to try and carry our friend group. If I wasn't able to carry them, they would weirdly start fussing at me, telling me to actually try or blaming me for losses, even though I was the only one on the team playing objectives and going positive. About the time Elden Ring came out in 2022, this had reached a boiling point, and I got fed up with being blamed. I was generally losing hair and sleep because of how mean my friends were being over a video game. So I decided to get lost in Elden Ring. Once I had fully 100% that percent once I had fully 100% that the new God of War had come out. I kept playing more and more single player games and realized I didn't enjoy multiplayer games anymore. Eventually, I stopped hopping on their games with them. I played sparingly throughout 2023, maybe a few games every other night, until about late last year. When I dropped online gaming completely, we had one final argument where I was blamed for being outplayed by an enemy team in quick play Overwatch, made up completely of masters players. On my team, I am the only master player, with next highest being platinum. Several ranks below me, being blamed like this in mode that didn't even matter had me made me realize I only want to play games where I don't have to carry my friends and sweat so hard the game isn't even fun anymore. So now I try to get to I'm trying to get to everyone, and I'm trying to get everyone into some fun PVE games. I offered to buy every Hell Divers. They didn't want to play. I asked if they wanted to download Fallout 76 since it's free with Game Pass. They declined. Eventually, I asked why they didn't want to play, and they called me a. They said I was to blame for abandoning them. Since I left, they've been stuck in low ranks, and they think I was being a baby over them, joking around with me. Even my wife, who plays with us, took their side. When I doubled down and said I didn't like how they talked to me and just wanted to go back to being able to chill with my friends, they made the decision to kick me from game chats when they're playing online instead of letting me talk to them. They continue to only play the same rotation of online comp games and refuse to even talk to me about games I've been playing. But when we hang out in person or I try to talk to my wife about it, they just deflect and act like I'm crazy. So am I to blame refusing to play stressful games that they want me to carry them in? Okay, so I agree. They said not to blame, and I think he's not to blame, for carrying them or anything. Because the thing about it is that he is doing all the work, and they're relying on him. But then they seeing how they really need him. So they're trying to shame. It feels like they're trying to shame him to come back to play multiplayer games, so they can resume the fun of him doing all the work, and they're just playing for whatever reason. I think with him enjoying single player games, if that if he's 100%ing them, if that makes him feel good, then completely stay playing single player games. You can always go to multiplayer games if you want to. Like you could do Mario Kart if you desire to, or like Hell Divers and stuff. You can still do multiplayer and not play with your friends if you want to. Play with random people, talk to them and everything. Like you meet new people, be more experienced with it. But I say no, you are not to blame for this one. And this one was a year ago, so this is 2024. And here is some responses to it. Say not to blame. This is for neglectful stranger. Not to blame. They got used to being in the big leagues by riding your coattails, and now that they drove you off, they are suffering the consequences of their action. Bit weird your wife is on their side, but I'm guessing you were gamer friends before you were married. I at least hope she isn't joining in on them when they blame you for stuff. Um, this is from OP, even though it says deleted. No, it was very out of character for her. She is genuinely a saint. Um, Variety Gamer 928 says, not to blame. I too had strayed away from PvP multiplayers because it's just a blank game when it comes to losses. I'm aware of things I do wrong, but I can't take the blame for every single person on the team. It's exhausting and the level of sweat is just not fun. Luckily, my friend group does play PvE, and we formed a Destiny 2 group on my non-single player days. Being forced to play games you don't enjoy just for quality time with friends that wouldn't do the same for you is beyond lame. Last is Tech to Kill. You are not to blame, but maybe grow a spine. You get bullied by your friends, in quotations, because they can't play for crap. Stick to the solo games or look for a Discord or some PvE games and make new friends since you wanted to play Fallout 76. The community is very, very friendly, or finding Helldivers is also pretty easy. I know it's hard, but you must see they only use you for your skill, and it was not joking around when they blame you for their lack of skill. It's unfortunate that even your wife, who doesn't have your back, and you should look into that as well. This is not normal behavior, and even by gamer standards, this is abysmal behavior. So yeah, not the butthole. And I agree. Yeah, Discord is a good way to find friends and other people who want to do PvE, and even skillful friends or people who are new to stuff. You can always be a teacher and help them learn the ropes of the game. It's all cool. There's different ways. But for that one, no, I don't think you are to blame for that. So we're gonna move on to our next one. Am I to blame for telling my friend his game is stupid? I'm 23 female, he's 23 male. He's my friend, has been since elementary school. He's gay, so there's nothing romantic between us either. Our friend group is very active, but he's not anymore. He's now disabled and unable to do most activities we used to do because he can't walk long distances and his dominant arm gets some problems. He was in an accident at his workplace. He was very depressed for the longest time and still struggles with things. It's been over a year since the accident. While he's not as depressed in general anymore, he does get sad when we go on our trips without him and he doesn't have good self-image anymore. He's a very handsome guy and any man would be lucky to have him. But he thinks because he's disabled and his income is disability that he's not fit to date anyone. Anyone will, apparently. Let's see where this goes. Around the time he started feeling less depressed, his sister got him into video games, which none of us in our friend group are into. We like being active, not pretending to be. But a few months ago, he got this one popular game, and it really turned things around for him. Namely, the fact you can date other characters, which is weird to me. He's grown very attracted to this game and tries to talk to us about it. A couple in the group act interested. The rest of us just don't really care. I tried to talk to him about getting out into the real world again, but he doesn't seem interested. Well, once again, he tried to talk about this game and this character he really likes, and I finally had enough. I told him no one cares about his stupid game and he needs to find someone real and experience the real world however he can again. No one else said anything and he left to get an Uber home. One of our friends tried to offer him a ride, but he just quietly denied and left. We all went home after, and I got back to find he left our group chats and blocked me. I don't know if he's blocked the others as well. He left me one last message saying, that game is the only way I can feel like a normal person again. I'm not disabled. I can walk as long as I want. I can explore everything it will allow me without my body hurting. Character might not be real, but he looks at my character in ways I wish I could be looked at. I only get looked at with pity anymore. He doesn't see that. No one I meet in that game does. So forgive me for finding something that brings me joy. It can't replace real life. Character can't replace the love and touch of a real person, but it's just as close as I'll ever get. Our friend group had mixed emotions about the whole thing, but when I ranted to my sister about it, she got indignant and told me that I messed up big. She said I was a jerk for making him feel more isolated and for not entertaining him talking about that dumb game. I told her I just wanted him to experience real life and real people instead of focusing on that stupid game, but she hung up. Maybe I was harsh, but am I ready to blame? Yes. I don't think because she's not a gamer or their group is not a gamer, she was thinking about kind of you need to do this to get back to what we used to do. You know, if you do that, you would feel human. You would enjoy the experience and stuff. And she doesn't understand that. Not saying this is just a not only a mental thing, but he physically can't do a lot of things that he used to do because he was in a work accident. you know the reason why he's talking about with this dating game, and he wants to talk about it because he wants to include everybody, to let them know, and actually be social with them, and have fun with them, and just be like, we are supposed to be friends. And so when I hear everything that you guys talk about, I want to be able to talk about what I've been enjoying and what I've been doing. Yes, I can go on trips because of my living situations that I'm in because of my disability. But I am enjoying this game because even though it's fictional, it makes me happy. I get a personal feeling knowing that something is happening and I'm not being judged. I'm not getting the pity stuff, that you guys as my friends or people around me or even my family gives me because of my disability. So I think, she got to a breaking point that she was tired of hearing about this game. So she reacted by saying that that particular game is stupid. It doesn't say what the dating game is, but hopefully in the replies that it's a response to it. So we're gonna get to Lady Luna says, "Yeah, you're to blame. That was hugely insensitive of you and the group. You're acting entitled with your ableism. You're devaluing the experience and connection this person has. He's expressed before this event took place that he enjoys gaming and the storyline. This is his escape or truly a newfound hobby. Gaming isn't shameful. It's just as entertaining as a good book or conversation. If you care about the friendship, make amends or apologize and leave him alone. He deserves better friends than to belittle him." And OP replied, "Agreed." No, well, whoever this person was agreed also. Agreed. You're to blame. Also, it's been just a year and this is his current progress. OP made it seem as if he's not progressing to her expectations. Also, with these friend trips and events, just how much planning and attempts to accommodate his new disability did these friends make? Um, another one responded, "Usually I just like to lurk while on lunch, but I'll make a throwaway just to say if he wants to play Battlegrounds 3 with me and my buddy, I'll send you a DM with my email and tell him I will let him romance Gail, not Battlegrounds, Baldur's Gate 3." Actually, based off the fact you're mentioning him talking about wizards specifically, all he wants will support his newfound wizard loving D&D adventures since you won't. And then another response under that was literally best case scenario for this guy is that he makes some new friends like you, people who actually want to support him beyond how he relates to their lives only. Here's hoping if this post is true that he's able to find some new kinder folks who knows a good piece of art when they see one. So yeah, um, that's that one. There isn't no response from uh OP. That's the original poster. So we are going to move on to the next. But yeah, I think she is to blame for calling the game stupid because she don't understand. Um, you know, I know she wants the best for him. I know she wants him to get out and stuff, but she doesn't understand the mentality mentality to this. He's dealing with just his own issues and everything. And he's trying to do his best, and he feels alive by playing that game. So we're gonna just move on to the next one. Am I to blame for playing video games whilst my wife works from home? I am a police officer. I work shift work, which usually means my days off are during the week. These could be 4 to 5 days at a time. I also earn 5 to 6 weeks of leave a year, which I have been forced to take whilst I am writing this. My wife works in the usual 9 to 5. Her workplace is a 20-minute drive from home. Until recently, she hasn't worked from home 1 day a week. Oh, until recently, she has worked from home 1 day a week. However, she has recent requests to work from home 2 days a week. Both our desktop computers are set up in the one small office. I'm not much of a gamer, but if I want to spend time with mates, it's usually the most effective way to communicate with them on a regular basis. I'm also a bit funny in the head from work, so sometimes with mates is beneficial to my head noise. Oh, So time with mates is beneficial to my head noises. It's kind of weird on how it was written. I'm sorry about that. For the first time in 3 months, I wanted to play an online game with friends. The falls on a day where my wife is working from home. I was trying my best to speak quietly and not laugh or shout. I will only talk when it related to in-game stuff like clear over here. I could take a look first. Hold up. My wife would tell me if she needed to make a phone call and I wouldn't talk at all during these minutes, and she would tell me when she was finished. I played the game for about an hour and a half and decided to take a break, and then she starts telling me I had pushed her to the edge and that I had annoyed her to no end. Started yelling at me for playing the game. My sense is that this is my leave. I earned it. I rarely ever get to play games with a group of friends, and that is the social aspect which I enjoy. I made a bunch of conscious concessions, such as limiting my amount and volume of speech, which meant I wasn't fully involved in conversations, and my friends thought that I was upset slash depressed by my lack of involvement. Her stance is that she is working from home. She shouldn't have to deal with me wanting to play games when she has to work. She's upset that I am doing fun things when she isn't allowed to. She says I should just play a single player game or watch a show. She says that if I'm in that room, I am to be completely silent. My rebuttal is that she has an office. She chooses to work from home as a luxury, and by doing so, she's putting me out and restricting what I am doing on my free time, all because she wants to work from home. I had also spent a decent amount of time cleaning the house too, washed and cleaned the kitchen and all the mess and clutter she left from making breakfast. I vacuumed the downstairs living area and put away all her craft stuff she left out from 2 days prior, specifically so I wouldn't have anything to do when everyone jumped online. She also works from a laptop and could choose to work from any other room if she needs to, or if she needed to. It's very rare that my group of mates are available at one time to play games, and given I have earned the sleeve, I should be able to use it for fun activities. Am I to blame for wanting to play video games with friends online while my wife works from home? Uh, so for this one, uh, I do not think this person, is to blame for it, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's because he says that you know uh his days off work is during the week. There could be 4 to 5 days at a time, but he also earns 5 to 6 weeks, and he's on call. So if he's a police officer, he's probably working long hours and everything. And the wife has a 9 to 5. Um, she has office, at the job home, and if she wants to, yes, there should be a discussion about I'm going to be working from home. Can I use the office at this time? Okay. Can I play games around this time? This is the time I want to get online with my friends because I'm on leave. You know, and he said, which I've been forced to take whilst I'm writing this. Like, so he was forced to take a vacation, and everything. So that just shows you that he doesn't normally take vacation unless that he really is required for him to take it and stuff. But this one, he's being forced, so he should have that right while he is off, being at home, be able to play games. Now, if his computer is in the particular office that they work from, yes, like I said earlier, there should be some conversation about when he could play games and while she could work. I feel like that. No, if it if if there's like if there's stuff that she got to print, or um things that she got to do that require her, like if she does have a phone call or a conference call and everything, and she has to be in a quiet space, and that's the most reliable one because probably the internet is better in that room, then he should be like, okay, you got a work meeting, I'm going to head out. When you're done, let me know so I could come in and still play my game while you still work if you want to, or if you want to be more comfortable, find a spot that makes you more comfortable. Which I probably would be in my bedroom if I was her. Being on the bed, chilling, kicking it, listening to some relaxing music, got my own snacks, and just working from there while while her man um play games and stuff. Because the thing about it is that I bet you she probably barely see her husband or anything because of him being a police officer and being on call and stuff. So I I really don't think he's to blame for this one. But they say that he is to blame. So I'm gonna read some responses. Um from Fried Dinosense. Our arrangement at home is if one of us is working, the study is off limits. No discussion. It doesn't matter if I'm on holiday or not. It also doesn't matter why she wants to work from home for those 2 days. Maybe she just wants to take a crap in peace during the workday. Um this is from a different person. Sorry. Respectfully, you're sounding like a teenage boy. It's my holiday, and I want to play games with my friends now. Cool. I want Harry Styles to serenade me while I accept the $20 million lottery win. Say, CS La Vie, everything. After Kangaroo says, gentle, you're to blame. Yes, it's your time off, but it's not her time off. If you wanted her to go to the office, you should have said something before. She also works 2 days a week from home. You have a whole 5 other days to play games in that room. When she's working from home or in the office, you can make the adult choice to not mess with her job, as you wouldn't want her to mess with yours and either move the PC or wait until she's done at the office. Compromise, man. You might have earned your break, but you didn't earn the right to mess with your wife's work schedule at the same time. You're supposed to be partners. Act like it. And then there's more replies and stuff. Um, it says, come on, tell us really why you haven't used the most obvious solution. Why haven't you or your wife taken the spare room and turned it into either a home office or a gaming slash craft space? This is so very obvious that there needs to be a reason. Um, both our desktop computers are set up in the one small office. Um, Not to blame. I agree with you for now. I would be interested to know, however, if you have the ability to move your computer to another room or for your recreation. I have been at my wits' end working from home while living alone. I do not believe it is reasonable for your wife to be angry at you for doing things at home that are normally done at home during regular day hours, but the same room is a bit much. Um, so yeah. Um, they said that he was to blame, and I'm saying he's not to blame. And I understand what people are saying. When if those 2 days when she wants to work from home, he should be able to give her that space, and then when she's done working, he should have the space so he can play with his friends. And maybe he should talk to his friends. And now this is 2 years ago, so this is 2023. Things may have changed, but there is no update. So we are going to move on to the next story. Am I to blame for refusing to play a game with my friends after they broke promises and semi erased our server? Yee. So, hmm, everybody, please forgive me if you are hearing water. It is raining here. Um, So if you aren't a gamer, you might need to skip this one because I don't think it's going to make sense. I have a group of friends that play games together. A few of our friends started playing a survival game that me and my fiance weren't interested in, so the group got kind of distant for a while. I suggested a different survival game for us all to play together, but I wanted to discuss something ahead of time. Previously, we had played a survival game and one of our friends got on and did everything without us. We logged in one day and everything was unlocked and most of the caves had been looted. They didn't regenerate at this time. Not sure if this changed later. Basically, there wasn't anything left to do and we abandoned the game. So I expressed my concerns and was assured that they wouldn't play without us this time and would just play their other game if we weren't on. This is not what happened. 2 days into the game, my fiance was working, and when he got home, we both got on to find they had been playing without us and gathered tons of resources, and tamed a bunch of dinosaurs. My fiance lost all motivation to play immediately, but I tried to get on and just hang out since I really wanted this to work out. Fast forward to this morning, the person who hosts the server, he paid for a dedicated server because he couldn't figure out how to host it himself, which no one told me until recently, decided he wanted to try a new map, pulled down the server and started a fresh one. I was livid. I already was really upset they didn't keep their promise, but now they were getting rid of the whole world. We didn't even do any of the actual story quest yet. They kept saying they were waiting until we had stronger dinosaurs. It felt like a huge waste of my time. I went off on my friend, who I know in real life since first grade. Gaming is how we keep in touch since she moved away. Because they had brought up the idea of changing maps before, and I had consistently said I was against it. I said I was done playing and I regretted wasting my time. I also said it was BS that they did exactly what they said they wouldn't and progressed without us. She said everyone in the group, aside from my fiance who agrees with me, thinks I'm acting crazy for being attached to the world we built, and I must have mental issues to care that they were constantly playing without us in a game I only suggested so we could play together. Again, if you don't play video games, this might make no sense, but maybe think of it like watching a TV show with someone, but cheating with the next episode, only more extreme. The game is Ark Survival Ascended, if anyone was wondering. So, am I to blame for not wanting to play with them again when I feel I can't trust them? I if this is how they're gonna be playing the game and stuff, I don't think you should play with them. I think you and your wife could find a game to play together. I agree. I don't think they are to blame for that. Um, let's get into some responses. Not to blame, but I'm actually on right now waiting for a mod to update. And your feelings are so valid. The problem with server owners are they get power inflated egos. My server only has 10 people tops ever. We are small and tight. We play together or we play separately. My hubs and myself run 3 maps consistently for variety. You need new friends. You and your fiance could come play with us. Um, Next one said, not to blame, they broke agreements with you. And the last one, not to blame, I have this problem so many times that I stopped playing open world survival MMOs with my friend group. Our schedules are so different that someone is always left behind or left out, and many of my friends don't care about story or immersion at the same level. This would be NAH if you hadn't made arrangements prior. Unrequested advice: try more forgiving multiplayer games that it's hard to have power/time dynamic issues. Like my friend groups have moved to Sea of Thieves, Deep Rock Galactic, Destiny 2, and Void Crew. It could be difficult when you have them see, it can be difficult when you have the 4 players, but SOT and Destiny Sea of Thieves and Destiny allow for guilds, which is fun to work ripping building those. Void Crew and Deep Rock have mods for more than 4 players as well. This way you can remove the point of tension but not lose your friends groups either. From personal experience, you can try to explain this to them until you are blue in the face, but they aren't wired that this way. Just a thought. So, yeah, and this was 2 months ago. So, yeah, I think I think don't play with them find a game that you and your fiance can play and enjoy. That's all I can say. So we're gonna move on to the next one. Am I to blame for not giving my coworker my day off because I wanted to play a video game? Okay, so anyone in the video game world knows that next week the new Legend of Zelda game comes out after like 5+ years of waiting. I'm a massive fan. When the release date was revealed, I immediately requested PTO for that day as I plan on staying home that day and enjoying the new game. What I didn't realize was that the day I asked all for is the Friday before Mother's Day. My company has had to limit the request all for that date. Now, this one I read on, I heard on Smosh Smosh Reads read a story with Shade Top and them. Now, as many people have been asking off for it, I had previously told some of my coworkers I was planning on staying home to play the game. I guess word got around because one of my other coworkers asked me after work to give her my PTO so she could travel for Mother's Day. I explained to her that I requested this day off months ago and a specific reason, and I really wasn't willing to change it. She got pretty upset with me, claiming I care more about video games than family and whatnot. I honestly don't really care about her not being able to travel because I feel like if this was an important date, then you would have requested off early, like I did. Anyway, I finally told her no, but she told some of my other coworkers, and they are pissed at me and um uh called me a word for not giving up this date. Am I to blame? Edited typos. Um, no, you are not to blame. You follow the policy of getting your PTO in so you can play Tears of the Kingdom. A lot of people do that for a lot of video games. If they put the PTO in it, for it, so they can play this game and give their reasons and everything, and it gets approved, you don't have nothing, that's not on you or anything. She knew when Mother's Day was coming. There's a calendar. So she literally could have put this in way in before Mother's Day came. But it seemed like that she waited. She was late. So that's on her. So some of the responses I would have told her I care more about my family than video games. Your family not so much. Her family is not your responsibility. She should have planned better, not to blame. This I'm from the UK, so we have 8 bank holidays. Occasionally more, for example, King Charles coronation. Not that I'll be watching. I'll be getting drunk in a pub with my mates. I book the day off every day before and after the bank holidays throughout the year to get a long weekends without putting a dent in my annual leave allowance. Am I seeing family on these days? No, I'm staying at home doing burger off because I feel like it. I wouldn't cancel my holiday for anyone because they should have requested it as soon as our holiday allowance reset if they wanted the days off. Um, Not to blame. It's not like Mother's Day is a surprise or random event. Both employees had advanced knowledge of what they wanted to do on that day, but only one requested that time off. It does not matter what either of them wants to do on their day off. It's literally nobody's business. So yeah, and everything. Everybody, I'm going to just do one more story. I think I'm gonna come back for a part two. The reason being, it is raining here and lightning, and so my light is going on and off. You probably have seen it and everything. So I'm just gonna do one more, and probably the following day I'll probably do a part two to this. So let's get into this last story. Am I to blame for shutting down future game nights with my boyfriend and his friends because they expect us to just sit around watching them play video games? My boyfriend and his friends like to play video games together. I have little to no interest in video games. The issue is that for some reason, he and his friends think that them playing video games is the most interesting thing in the world. And you know how guys who are into sports will have their girlfriends come watch their games? He and his friends kind of expect us, the women, to do the same. I'll admit that we tried it once. It was boring and a huge waste of time. None of us had any interest in just sitting there watching them play games. But for some reason, the guys expected that somehow this counted as a group hangout and thought it was a great time. They started to make plans to do it again, and I stepped in and said, "Hey, you guys can play, but we aren't going to just sit around watching you play video games." They didn't get why we didn't like it because they like sitting around watching people play games and are always watching streamers play. I said, if we're going to hang out as a group, we all need to be like doing stuff together, interacting. They argued back that we could always join them playing the games. And I just said that I know I have no interest in that. And a few of the other women chimed in to say so. Well, the guys are pissed at me now because to them I ruined game night, which to them was something that everyone could enjoy. I don't get why they can't just play games together without dragging bored girlfriends along for the ride. My instinct is that some of them were using it as a way to pretend they were spending time with their girlfriends so they don't get pegged as being crappy boyfriends. Here's the edit. Sorry, all. I'm about to log off and go to happy hour with my friends. Plus, the comments are getting repetitive, so I figure I answer some cues before I go. One, he plays with these friends multiple times a week already. It's not about wanting him to game. His hobbies are his hobbies, and he's not some loser with their own wash butt. Like I have no issue with him playing. They're also not his only friends. Two, no, the women don't know each other outside of this. These are not friends in the making. This isn't some cutesy little sitcom. We're not trying to make a friend group out of this. Three, I don't like playing board games. It's something like D&D is of no interest to me. This applies to most of the other women as well. So please stop with the recommendations, lol. Also, what is everyone's obsession with wine? Like every other comic keeps saying that we should get wine. Why? Stop. Okay, so let's get to the comments. Not to blame. This sounds boring. This sounds boring. Is there another room in the house or one of the other ladies' house where you can hang out and do whatever you want to do, pamper evening, board games, etc., or just have the girls out while they do? Okay, yeah. Something everyone could enjoy except the was it. Sounds like they don't really care if the partners are enjoying it or not. Selfish boys, not to blame. Sounds like they don't really care if their partners are enjoying it or not. Something tells me this ad to extends beyond just game night. Um, Not to blame. This post is dripping with sexism, which I'm having a hard time ignoring, but still not to blame. I'm a woman who plays video games, and I still have never understood why anyone would want to watch someone else play games. Twitch is the weirdest concept to me. No one has any reason to be upset with you. You must be right about the other boyfriends thinking they were getting credit for socializing. No one is stopping them from playing games. You just don't want to be a forced captive audience. None of the women liked it in the story. Edit. Twitch is the weirdest concept to me. To me, as in, I don't enjoy it. It would not be successful as a platform, and other people did not enjoy it. Understand why many people enjoy it, and that's cool too. Edit too. So everyone asking what is sexist here, and you know how guys who are into sports will have their girlfriends come watch their games. He and his friends kind of expect us, the women, to do the same. The story would have read exactly the same without this line. They wanted us to watch video games and we did not want to. It's all the justification explanation she needed. Her situation is ambiguously relatable. We all giving a show a shot because our friend liked it and decided it wasn't for us. You could think I'm a snowflake for being miffed about that, which is fine because it's definitely not that serious. I just think the less we can inject irrelevant gender norms into basic activities and hobbies, the better. Okay, so uh my thoughts on this. I don't think so this is the thing. You know, I understand she doesn't want to be around her boyfriend or and his friends while they play games and she sits on the couch doing nothing, twiddling her fingers and stuff like that. I just say, don't go. Like, I'm assuming that they probably live together and everything. I just say, don't go. If he's gonna go, um, play games, drive yourself to the movies, go shopping, um, go to the bookstore to read. Like, keep yourself busy and active, and just tell, or, if you got to clean around the house, clean around the house. If you want to stay home, or you want to, try a new recipe or whatever, do that. Like, if he's going to go out and socialize that way, you do the same thing, and you let those other girls know, hey, look, I don't know if y'all, I know y'all love y'all man and everything, but I suggest y'all do something for yourselves. And just don't go. Let them have their own fun. Let them have their own game nights. Now, yes, I understand that they're kind of trying to make this a thing of when in the story saying that this counts as, spending time with the girlfriend. I'm like, no, it's not spending time. It's time is being wasted, because spending time, the word spending means you got to do an activity with somebody, with the girlfriend. You're spending time with the boys because y'all playing video games. Where's the girl interaction and the spending time part? You have them in the space, but you don't have them by your side. So for this, I don't think this person is not to blame. I understand people, the guys being mad at her and stuff, but I just say she should have went and did something. Now this is 3 years ago, so we don't know if they're still together, if they're broken up, if anything's changing. But if I was her during this time, I would literally just be going to do something else and everything, and just be like, when you're ready to come home, hopefully you come home. Um, if you want to tell me a little bit about the game night before we go to bed, that's fine. You can. If not, you know, then it is what it is. Let's go to bed, or let's spend some time together, that we can and everything. You know. So, but I really don't say, I don't really don't think she's to blame for this one. So, with that, everybody, I'm going to stop it right here. We're going to do a part two with this one, because I have more stories that I picked up to go. Like I said, it's the weather, and like I said, it's raining and it's lightning and it's affecting the lights and stuff. So, with that, everybody, we're going to do a part two. Hopefully, you guys will check in. Let us know your thoughts about these stories. What would you have said? What would you have done if you was in this situation? With that, everybody, have a great week, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time on Expansion Pass. Bye, everybody.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Christian S. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.